thought number two: how do we deal with social media outlets with defining what's real or not? And this is talking about the AI stuff. Did they really say this? All these fake news stories? Oh, that's not real. Me and my wife, we're over 40, and my boys, when that first time we start to see AI videos, Dad, that's not even real. You and mom are really gonna fall for everything. When we're older, we're gonna have to come into the house and show you guys what's real and what's not. Yeah, I admit, some of those AI videos, they got me. It's really hard to find out what's real and what's fake in the news. And so what happens is, if you're not rooted in some goodness, you've already failed. And when there's a situation to where you're like, should I follow this direction over here to the left? Or should I follow the wisdom from my parents? Should I follow my best friend's advice? Or this is what the news media said. Should I follow what's in the book? In short, in times of uncertainty and doubt, you have to go inward. No matter how you get to enlightenment, whether that's via religious spirituality beliefs, personal examples that you've lived by, failure, success stories that you had in the past. Use all of those cumulative elements in your life to produce this type of move forward attitude. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talks with Ken. This is the place where motivation lives, inspiration thrives, and personal growth resides. Yes, I am your host, Kendrick. I'd like to welcome you guys, whether you're coming from the car, the student line pickup, or first thing in the morning. Welcome. I'm happy to have you today. Today's going to be an interesting topic. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be the thoughts from me, really. It's going to be thoughts from Ken. Very random thoughts that I've had over the past week. And I started jotting these things down. But I think it's very important that you guys kind of see the realness. And that's one reason why I came on this type of platform, to give you all the real 100% of the time. I ain't trying to do anything that's fabricated or false. Everything that I'm giving you guys is by way of experiences, failures, successes, and whatnot. I just want you guys to get in the know the same way. So hopefully you guys find some value out of what I'm going to tell you. But before I get into that, I want to kind of talk about what I've been working on. I've been working on behind the scenes of trying to craft out a different dimension to the Talks with Ken community. And I've already said that I'm going to be bringing individuals on. And these individuals that I bring on will be individuals that I truly, truly admire and respect. I'm probably about 3 to 4 weeks out on being able to do that. Hopefully that time frame does, get expedited a little bit quicker. That's what I've been working on, and I can't wait to share with you guys this labor of love. I just got to get some things in line, okay? And right now, this is a promise that I'm making to myself, and this is a promise I'm making to you guys. So hopefully, I get this get that up and running in the next 3 to 4 weeks or so. Okay, all right. But now, without further ado, let's get into the first random thoughts from Ken. But this is Talks with Ken. Talks with Ken was my blog. But the very first random thought that I have for today is the misnomer that just because I'm in TV world, radio, podcast land, I'm absolved from dealing with what the normal man or woman deals with on a day-to-day basis. And that's the same thing with everybody around us. Anybody you see in a pulpit over a sustainable amount of time, anybody you see at the head of an organization or school for a sustainable amount of time has had to cultivate an environment that was conducive for them to do so. So what I'm doing right now, I promised myself that I would put out a full-length video every single week, bar none, any kind of sickness. But that's my goal, and that is my promise that I made to myself. So random thought number one, just because you see me here, I'm not absolved from dealing with relationship issues, children conversations, financial situations, dream or goal writing or implementations. None of that. It's just that I'm living out loud, or I'm choosing to live out loud in front of you all. Some conversations that are had around our communities, a lot of people aren't privy to. My 41 years of living, I've been privy to a lot of different conversations in a lot of different rooms. And I think that some individuals might call it barbershop talk. So I choose to have these conversations aloud on here. But now, what do I have to deal with? Over the years, I've had to cultivate an environment within myself. Number one, believe in myself. Number two, get more information in that allows me to speak more knowledgeably about certain situations. Now, the naming of my show is only Talks with Ken it's kind of a broad brush that I'm using, but it kind of generalizes a lot of different topics because I believe I wanted this platform to be multifaceted, and I want to bring multifaceted individuals onto the show to have those dialogues in front of you all. That way, if you've been thinking about something and we actually have that time to have that conversation in front of you for 15, 20 minutes, you can get a lot from it. So, number one, I had to create this type of environment for myself. And what goes unknown is I've also had to create the environment that goes on to my in my house. So what you guys don't see is my wife is very much a huge part in me being able to do this with you all. When you see me at night, my wife's probably doing something around the house that's getting the family together, the family right, and that's providing a time for me to do this. When I have to sit on the couch at night, aside from her, I'm writing new material. I'm reading newer literature. I'm looking at newer ways to get information out and information in for myself that I can share with you all. It's a lot of that. Let me give you a little point on this. This same thing. When you see individuals succeed at a high level for a very long time, they've created some type of environment that's conducive for their personal, mental, spiritual growth that allows them to sustain that level of success for a long time. Most people find it hard to do. When I go to a sporting event, I go to the sporting event not just for watching the game, not just for cheering on my favorite team. I'm enamored with the amount of success each individual, he or she, possesses or had personally to get them to that point to where they can sustain that level of success. Meaning, we went with you when you was shooting in the gym or training on a football field at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, lifting weights 2, 3 times a day, eating every single meal that you need to eat, putting the right information in, the right literature, watching film, and to sustain that for individuals at the premium sport in NFL, MLB, NHL, whatever you want to say, for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, that person has had to cultivate something in and around them to allow them to succeed at that level. That's something to awe about. And that's why I like seeing individuals exercise their athletic ability. Number one, because it's more than just physical ability. It is a mental aspect that goes along with it. When you see me putting out these videos, that's just me carving out a certain amount of time in my day-to-day schedule away from the family, or sometimes sitting alongside my wife just so I can be in close proximity with her. That's the kind of things you got to do in order to get your breakthroughs. I mean, if that plane gonna take off, you got to go hard. You got to go hard all the time. And right now, I'm doing this really for me. I'm doing this for you guys, but I'm doing it for me. It's a promise that I made to myself. And I want to honor the love that I have for me by sticking to my schedule, by sticking to my calendar. Not that you guys are getting the leftovers, but you can feel a sense of excitement and success for saying, I've done this for me today. Now I can go out and have pizza with the family. Now I can go and chill, have a good conversation with my friend because I've done what I was supposed to do today for me. And I think a lot of individuals lose that portion. It ain't selfish for doing what you're supposed to do for you. It's not. And other individuals, shame on them if they say, man, why are you always going in for you? I mean, who gonna say that and not look crazy themselves? I don't know. But if you do, you need to drop them. So number one, I just wanted to say, just because you guys see me here, it does not mean that life is any different. I got the same elements that I'm dealing with that you guys are dealing with. Trying to make sure I cultivate an environment that's conducive for me and my wife to grow closer to each other every single day, every single year. So I'm not absolved from it. It's just that I've learned over the years how to manage stress, how to deal with uncertainty, and how to bend and mold time to work for my favor. I'm no different than y'all. It's just that I'm very assertive in living for me. I'm very assertive in following my schedule. Okay. That's thought number one. Random thought number two. It's so darn hard for us to find what's true in this world and what ain't. My son told me and my wife, y'all gonna fall for everything. When we get older, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell what's true and what's not with this AI generated videos. I'm gonna be honest. When it first came out, there's a lot of stuff that I fell for. I thought it was real. I thought that bear boxing individuals was real. But my wife probably fall for it even more. But what I'm saying is it's so hard to keep a straight mind when you don't even really know what's real. Every time you turn on TV, I mean, we already know we're getting fake news from the news stations, and then when you turn on social media, these secondary outlets, some of them don't present the facts. Some of them don't do that, and then some of them do, and you're trying to figure out and sift through what what's real and what ain't. And here recently with the Epstein files, you find out that Ghislaine Maxwell, her dad was over all the educational publishing for the school systems. That's crazy. And so I always told my boys, you got to learn to unlearn what you were taught in school, because a lot of the stuff that I know, even before all this happened, you got to kind of learn to stand on your own 2 feet. And the way society is not really conducive for an individual to want to stand on their own 2 feet. And so my answer to not knowing what to trust or what to follow is that you have to have a certain way to get newer information in, couple that with experiences you've had via failures or successes, and it has to feel good in your mind and body. I always tell individuals this: I do not move if my mind and heart are not in accordance, meaning in alignment. My mind and my body have to be in alignment in order for me to move on a new decision or a new direction. If it's still a little bit of tussle, I gotta go in my little quiet corner a little bit. But now, how do I get to that point? Newer information in. You do. I mean, you're not born being the know-it-all, the Albert Einstein of the universe. You're not born with it all. And you're only operating from a standpoint of what you currently know. You got 30-year-olds that probably got the brain capacity of a 21-year-old, because they're only living for what they already know. They don't put anything in. They're not trying to have newer experiences. My solution to trying to figure out what's new or not: gain information for yourself, gain knowledge for yourself. Your heart, your intuition, especially if you live a little bit, it will lead you in the right direction. Even if it don't, make a pivot. And then you're like, you know what? I effed up. That's fine. So be it. But you have to cultivate your own internal compass. I'm a very avid reader. Some colleagues, they say, man, do you ever read any fiction novels? I'm like, nah. Because a long time ago, I've realized that I want every point of my day to count. I want every second of my day to count. And so I read everything that's factual. So I read the non-fictional stuff. So I want to make sure I keep my mind in tune to everything that's in my reality. I like to be able to deal with reality. So in that regard, that's what I do. I put newer information in to help me pull from different sources. If I'm reading a book and I only get one new element that I can add to my repertoire, that book was a success. One new way of thinking at something. I mean, thinking about something. If I get one new way of thinking about something that I've already had a problem with tussling with, book, great. It was worth the purchase. I mean, I've bought books on the same subject matter, but the author came from a different viewpoint of one of his adversaries. And they just give you something to think about. That's how newness is sparked with you. And then you couple that with your own life's experiences, and now your heart and mind starts to feel a different way. Situations you start to look at a little bit different. Things your parents passed down, you start to look at it a little bit different. That's how you get above doing the same old same. In short, to my point two, trying to figure out what's new or what's not, my answer is become self-educated on certain topics that you add to your personal repertoire that feels good with your mind and feels good with your heart. And once you got that in alignment, move forward with making a newer path or a way for you and your family. Okay. All right. So my random thought number three. Yeah, I'm having fun with this. This is just random. Randomness. All randomness. I have a big problem with men or women sacrificing their families for $1. I get it. I get it. Time is tough. Time is hard. I've even had to learn this, myself. Even certain past business opportunities that I had, opportunities to make a little bit more money. I passed up just because it felt like I was chasing the dollar, like literally just chasing the buck. And I didn't think that was conducive for my personal growth mentally at all. I didn't want to break down a family dynamics. If anything pulls me away as far as from my family from a sustainable amount of time that I can't control, that means it has a hold on me and I don't have a hold on it. So all money opportunities ain't good money opportunities. All money ain't good money. All opportunities are not meant to be for you to jump in. But when you create your own life strategy by planning out the person you're trying to be, a lot of opportunities will fall by the wayside and you're okay with it. You don't lose no sleep over it. You could probably give up hundreds of thousands of dollars. I ain't gonna say do it all the time, but some of those opportunities you can probably pass up on for the likelihood of keeping your family unit intact. I've seen friends of mine, I've seen associates of mine, I've seen individuals over the years battled it, for the likelihood of like, I want to provide and cultivate a newer life for my family that's better, that's easier, but I'm gonna have to sacrifice time at the ball field, at gymnastics competitions, or either at volleyball tournaments for the sake of me having to go out of town or the sake of me having to have this extra meeting, stuff like that. I've seen a lot of individuals who are older than me, 20, 30 years my senior, say that one of their biggest regrets are not spending more time with their family and or their children. And man, I can tell you right now, you see my kids, you see me, you see me, you see my kids or my wife, whatever, one of them. And so I made it a big point in my life to be around and in their lives at every point of the way. Now, were there times or seasons in our life to where I had to be away a little bit more than I wanted to? Yes. But believe you me, I didn't even come to this conclusion by myself. It was more so my wife's like, baby, I think you're doing a little bit too much on da 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 da. And I was like, no, I got to do this right now. I just have to do this right now. But then, she very much made this statement to me, and it hit home. She was like, "What good is automating this world if you sacrifice the family for it?" And that hit home. And it wasn't even a point of a malintent per se from my wife. It was more of a situation or a big statement that was like, you can gain the world but lose your family. And that's what you say that you're trying to build it for. So I had to cultivate an environment to get broader shoulders. I had to develop the capacity to be able to lead by example, be able to show empathy and compassion for my wife, and then show empathy and compassion for my kids. It could be that, like with my upbringing, I made it a point when I have kids, I'm going to be there for them. That to me, that never went away. And then my wife, she also had things that she wanted for us and our family. And I'm like, well, when you join in a union, you got to link up and you got to touch and agree. And so I never wanted to put money above my family. Case in point, before I even embarked on this company that I work at now, just now hit 19 years, I turned down more money and a different opportunity just so I can be with my family. I wanted to be there and be the cornerstone at the beginning and set those ground rules and bylaws that we all follow from the beginning. So if your business opportunities have you been away a sustainable amount of time from your family, chasing the dollar, as a man, I don't see that as being a good thing. I don't see this being a good thing because every household needs the man, the cornerstone, the one that leads by example, the one that does the hard thing, and the one to be there when somebody needs to talk, when you need a shoulder to cry on, and things of that nature. A lot of the success that I've had has been by way of the family unit, the structure that I've created with my wife, that we've created together. That was a lot of push and pull. That was a lot of bad, tough conversations. And me just knowing if my wife feels this way about this type of opportunity, maybe I need to see how I can mesh it a little bit. If it's going to cause me to be away from my kids from a sustainable amount of time. Now, this happens in different seasons. You know, I was trying to make sure that my kids in their developmental stage can see their dad more on a day-to-day basis. I can easily throw money at them and they not know me. They not know the real situation behind it. They don't feel the love. It's just something tangible. They can go out and buy stuff. I didn't want that type of relationship with my kids. So if it was a business opportunity, I let it fall by the wayside. I just didn't embark on it. And I didn't lose sleep over it because my internal compass was already set. The rules and bylaws that me and my wife follow were already set. And so one of my third topics is I, I'm not gonna sacrifice my family for a dollar, and I see a lot of individuals doing it. That's fine, but I know way too many influential, successful men that lead their households and still able to be there with your family. Now, can you probably get there quicker? Yeah, but will you have your family, and is that worth it? You got to ask yourself them type of questions because right now with me having everything scheduled out on a calendar, on the schedule, that kind of a deal. And over the years, my wife getting on board with it, falling in love with the vision that I had for myself a little bit. Maybe not fall in love, but she kind of like it. But very much a team effort, and it still doesn't mean that I'm absolved from any of the situations that you guys are absolved in. So not all money opportunities are good. And I look to keep those family units intact. And But to my men, if it's a man, but if it's a woman that's leading the household, you have to build the capacity to be able to lead your house with authority, conviction, and having a direction without saying, I have to go do this X, Y, and Z. I mean, if it's gonna make you sacrifice your family, time spent with your wife, time spent with your kids over and over, you got to be honest with what you're doing and how you want to go about moving your family forward. Okay, and then my last random topic of today is that people sitting on a stool will do nothing. So just now I was talking to the person that's always gone in search to make a buck. Now I'm talking about the individual that's sitting on a stool of do nothing. They know they should be doing something, but they just don't do it. If you got to hear from somebody, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody care whether you sit down and do nothing, just don't complain about it. They're gonna talk about you anyway. Or you can go out there and make yourself look like a fool, do what you're trying to do, and they still gonna talk about you. But you're doing what you want to do. That's life worth living. If you don't have something that you're trying to do that makes you feel like it's worth waking up for, life is gonna be tough. The only thing you're gonna see is negativity. You're gonna start to see so much daggone negativity. That's gonna make you lose your mind. And what happens is when you sit in a negative place, you start to look for things that make you feel just and feeling negative. So the only thing that you see is going to be negativity. You're going to be drawn to more negativity. You're going to be drawn to negative conversations. You're going to be drawn to negative situations. You're going to be drawn to just negative gossip and talk. But if your metrics, internal metrics, your beacon, your guidance system, if it's geared towards more positivity, that's what you're going to see. I was having a conversation the other day with one of my colleagues. He and I was talking, and we were talking about if you see somebody doing something great for themselves in their community, and then you still see hate on that person, for the hating individual, they're reflecting or projecting themselves onto the other person for their own incompetences. Meaning, who thought he or she should be doing this, or why they get rewarded for doing X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. Because now they're seeing, one, their shortcomings, the information that they don't know that the other person does. And then how dare that other individual deem to believe in himself or herself and go out and do what they dreamed of. Only thing they got to do is wallop in their own misery, and they talk down on that individual who's doing it. So my advice to you, stop thinking about what everybody talking about. They gonna talk anyway. Let them talk. Let them talk. And so many older individuals that still worried about people, what they saying about them. True freedom don't come until you start to live for you unequivocally, like all the time. People gonna talk. People, man, you only got like 20 views on that video. Okay, that's for me. That's for me. Man, I see that was like a mini viral moment. You had like 10,000 views on that video. Okay, great. It's the same response because I'm choosing to do this for me. My last gripe is you think that individuals are worried about what you're doing more than what they do. If it's one thing that I can find out is people really just don't care. It sounds bad, but people really just don't care. If you had a wonderful invention, if you had a wonderful idea, I promise you, nobody's gonna like that idea more than you. At first, nobody's gonna like that idea more than you, but you got to see it through. You're excited, but nobody around you is as excited as you are. They're gonna look at you sideways. Why are you doing it? Don't care about what nobody is doing. Cultivate that environment for yourself. Don't care about what everybody's gonna say about you. They're gonna talk anyway. Do it for yourself. This life is worth living. With all those craziness, it still is worth living. Live on purpose, not by accident. Okay. All right, y'all. I've been on my soapbox a little bit longer than I wanted to, and hopefully this is something that don't go in one and out the other, and you put what I said to use. I want to see you guys succeed just as much as anybody. And again, share your successes with me. Write it down. Put it into the little blog Q&A box or whatever you want to call it. I want to celebrate with you. I really do. And if you see me on the streets, just holler. Like J. Cole say, just say what's going on. Talks with Ken. What up, Kendrick? Whatever. I do want to celebrate your success as well, but stay tuned for new and better opportunities coming our way for the Talks with Ken community. Until our next conversation, I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.